Hello, and welcome to what is the maiden episode of the FANMEN podcast. My name is DJ Gove.
Chris Davis.
Sean Hogarty.
So, anyone's finding this for the first time? This is going to be just three guys who buy a lot of stuff and do a lot of fun stuff, just talking about comics and toys and movies and TV shows and stuff like that.
You had to start right off with buy a lot of stuff, making me ashamed right from the beginning.
I know. Well, we do.
Some more than others.
Some more than others, yeah. So, we got started out doing this, visiting the Shared Universe Studios down in New Jersey that belong to Ming and Mike from Comic Men. They kind of started, so there are a couple episodes of our stuff under their umbrella on iTunes. So if you want to go back and check that out, where we had a little bit more guidance and probably a little better at it. So just a couple of quick intros. So we are the Fan Men. We're a little older than the Fan Boys. We all have gray hairs and credit cards and stuff like that now.
I'm not sure all three of us have what I would call hair.
Well, one of us has gray hair. The other two are rapidly balding.
My beard's gray. So, and
when you're not dyeing it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Right there.
Right after that. And yes, we are doing this from a basement. However, it is a basement that one of us owns and not our mom's. So that's a plus. And we all own our own basements.
It's nicely decorated and appointed.
Well, thank you.
We all own our own basements. So
that's actually, I suppose that's a good point.
It is a good point. So it's a little background how we all kind of came to doing this. So we actually all kind of know each other through our large fandom of Kevin Smith stuff and the VU Askew stuff. Mm-hmm. So I know the first time I ever saw Sean and Chris was actually at a Babylon.
Would that be the one at the Wilbur?
The one at the Wilbur.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It was the day.
Now I remember.
Yeah. Because I remember it was the day Chris, because I had the Puck U jersey on.
That's right.
I
remember
years
you talking to me, yeah.
I knew I had seen you before, but I forgot. I now literally remember.
I didn't make the connection at the time, but I remember somebody coming up to me at the show.
And I thought it was like the bee's knees, and then friggin' Chris had the brand new Bob Hawk one fresh off the mail truck, the bastard.
Whereas I was probably wearing a Moby shirt, so.
Yep, with the iguana.
But I have the Smodcast jersey. Yep. It's just too big to wear.
Yeah,
Smodcastle jersey.
They're big. But anyway, so and then the next year at Boston Fan Expo, he came, and it just out of coincidence, I ended up behind Chris in line.
It's not out of coincidence.
It just kind of happened. And
we just end up at the same spots all the time.
And then we went back and looked at like the Terrificon night in Connecticut, and he's like, "Oh, here's the pictures. Oh, here's my pictures. Oh, we were 3 seats apart. I had no idea."
I was with him at that.
I was right here. You guys were right here. We were like there's two people in between us the whole time.
Awesome.
So it's just kind of the way things worked out.
That's how I met Chris. I don't know how many years ago. We were sitting next to each other, dead center front row at the Jay and Silent Bob's super groovy cartoon movie.
Cartoon movie, yeah.
Yeah. And that's how I learned that it was possible to both be a geek and a Kevin Smith fan and have a wife that tolerates it and joins in. She was sitting next to him. I thought that was pretty cool.
Very fortunate that she puts up with all this Kevin for his silliness.
Mine just pleads ignorance. She wants nothing to do with any of my
that's closer to me.
Stuff,
Yeah, but my wife also has a weird thing for Muse. So
really? Yeah,
that's the reason she was there.
Yeah.
She wanted to meet Jay.
My wife likes Brian, and then both the Brians, Sean and Anil Halloran. Yeah, I'm like, okay, whatever.
I'm actually seeing some. That makes sense, DJ. Looking at you, I
do have a beard, so
yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, whatever. It works. So this episode, we're going to end up, sponsors. Our first episode is brought to you by the fine people at DJ's Credit Card. So when you,
wait, we have a sponsor?
Yeah, so when you want to make a purchase and pay for over 35 years, choose DJ's Credit Card.
You and I had the exact same reaction, like, sign up sponsors?
Get sponsors?
Hey, man, DJ's a creative dude.
Yeah, Squarespace.
There you go, Squarespace. Yeah. So
we're going to put a beep over that because...
Yeah.
Exactly.
So... so we're just going to kind of go over this. We're doing this at the end of August, and we all had pretty busy months. We're just going to kind of do August as a whole, as a review for this first one. So we're going to start with the big event for August, which was all three of us. We all live up in the Northeast, in the New England area, and we made the trek down to Red Bank, New Jersey for Kevin's birthday party and the Vulgarthon Film Festival.
20th anniversary.
20th anniversary of Vulgarthon, which is awesome. When the first one happened, I was in high school in Hawaii, and I couldn't go.
So what is Vulgarthon, DJ, for
the
vast multitude of people on Earth that have no clue?
For the 90%. So Vogerthon is a film festival in Red Bank, New Jersey, that encompasses the beginning of the View Askew film universe. We had the same lineup as the original one, which consisted of Clerks, Mars, and Chasing Amy, which most people are, well, the ones that people who know about this stuff would know about. And then also when Kevin had his, I think it's his, was it the Miramax deal?
I think that's where he
it
got the
was.
ability to
Yeah,
release.
he worked in, to his credit for his buddies, he worked in a little chunk of money for his buddies to do some independent movies. I think they got like 50 grand or something like that. So a better place, which Malcolm did.
Nope.
No, I'm sorry, I
Vinny
had it backwards.
Pereira.
That was
Yep.
Vincent Pereira.
Yeah, I had sorry, I had them backwards.
So there was A Better Place, directed by his buddy Vincent Pereira, and then Drawing Flies by Malcolm Ingram.
And then after every movie, they recorded some Q&A and some stuff that ended up becoming the merged together to the 400.
Yeah, Smodcast
Right,
episode
Smodcast.
400.
So we all drove down from Jersey, and then first night, Chris probably had the most fun because Chris got to.
I got to play in a poker tournament at the Stash for a few fleeting
At
moments.
the Stash?
At the Stash.
What's the Stash, Chris Davis?
Oh, for the uneducated, the Stash is Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, Kevin's comic book store. In
35
Red Bank.
Broad Street, Red Bank, New Jersey.
Royalties will be coming. So back in the old days, Kevin used to throw Texas Hold'em tournaments at the Stash on a fairly regular basis. Then the bastard up and moved to Los Angeles and screwed that whole thing up. So for the anniversary, he advertised and threw a poker tournament at the Stash that he was supposed to be playing in, but never quite made it back to the Stash to play in. So I was there for about the first hour before going to join DJ at a shared universe to record our first pod.
Yeah, so we did the class with Mike and Ming. Sean, what were you doing that night? I forget.
So I went out and met a bunch of the people from a Facebook group that had been put together around the Tell 'em Steve Dave fans. It's called Four Color Demons Forever. I should really figure that out. Remember that.
Like four colorful.
Danielle's going to
to
kick
Yeah.
your ass.
Yeah, Danielle's going to kick my ass.
You're in for it.
But I met a bunch of fellow ants, fans of the Tell 'em Steve Dave podcast, which is a Kevin Smith, related but independent project, and met a bunch of folks, including Kenny from the Netherlands and Stephen from Canada, and a lot of other cool folks, Danielle and Frankie, a ton of people, lots wearing jerseys like mine, with the Four Color Demons logo. And we went to the King's Arms Diner where the Chasing Amy scene was shot. So it was a good place to meet. And so I had a lot of fun while you guys were off recording. Ate a lot of good food.
Yeah. And it turns out, because we saw the pictures after, and he didn't say anything either, the bastard. But the reason Kev didn't go back to the poker tournament, because he was in the other room at Shared, recording all the beginning stuff 400.
He ended up recording all night. He recorded 401 with Bry. That just dropped. He was there for 4 or 5 hours. So they filmed
One
a bunch of
door
stuff with
over.
Malcolm. And Ming alluded to the fact that he couldn't go into Studio 2 for some reason.
Yeah, and it just never clicked because I was having so much fun playing with everything.
Oh, my mic stand's in the other room, but I can't go in there right now.
Yeah,
I'm like,
just-
you own the
Interesting.
joint. What the hell?
I just figured like the alarm was on. It was like 11 o'clock at night. It's like, no, it's because.
No, the big man was over there.
Yeah.
all night.
But
Yeah.
so that speaks well to the isolation of the rooms.
Yeah, it is. No, the place is absolutely awesome. So just like any of our like offices, we have all the toys on the wall and stuff like that. But they got a real nice setup there, and
I think we were in the smaller of the two rooms.
we were in the
right?
smaller of the two rooms. The prices are good. Ming, he's a tech guy. That's how he got his start with Kevin. He was his web guy for a while, and so he knows how to. He's pretty good with all the tech stuff, and it was cool.
That's neat.
Yeah. So for everyone reaching for the fast forward button or the stop button, it's not going to be just a straight Kevin Smith thing going forward. This just happens. This was the big highlight of our month.
That's
so
how our August started.
it's how our August started. So
It's pretty much how every one of my months start.
pretty much, yeah. So we did that. So we did all the recording that night. Sean went to dinner. Chris got smoked in poker. So we get back to the hotel that night, and it's probably 1 o'clock in the morning. I think Chris and I ran down to White Castle because you're in Jersey. You got to hit up White Castle.
It was probably about 1 o'clock. Though.
Yeah, it was like 1, and it's like okay, cool. So Vulgarthon started at like 7. We had to get in line for 7 and pick up our tickets at the Stash. I'm like, okay, we can squeeze a couple hours of sleep in, and then what happened to Sean?
I had forgotten that I saw you guys that night, as I was in so much pain. So I had a great dinner with the, Four Color Demon, the Four Colors for Life group that I met, and got dropped off at home by a couple of fine Canadians who were down for that, and got into my hotel room and started just feeling a whole lot of pain in my leg. And it was like nerve pain, and basically I couldn't sleep. And when you guys showed up, it had already been going for about 4 or 5 hours. And so I think I ran into you guys because I was trying to find the ice machine to fill a bag with ice, to put ice on my back while I laid on the floor, some crap like that. And you guys found me looking bad, I assume. And ultimately, I think you guys did go to bed.
We got you to the ice machine.
Yeah.
Yep,
Pointed
found the
you
ice
back
machine.
in the
The
direction of your room.
the signage in that hotel sucked.
It was hiding in the laundry room.
It was hiding in the laundry room. And I ended up taking an Uber to the emergency room at about 4:30 in the morning. And so you guys woke up to a whole lot of texts from me going, "Hey guys, I'm not doing so well. I don't know what the hell's going on. Don't wait for me, et cetera, et cetera." But
I believe the exact text was, "Don't panic. I'm in the emergency room."
that might have been it.
4:58.
Yeah.
So how was one supposed to react to receiving that text?
Yeah. I clearly was not in a good space to go to an emergency room in a place I didn't know. And it sucked. And so they shot me up with some IV drugs, and then they gave me a fentanyl patch. And when she said that's what it was, the nurse who gave it to me, I was like, "Isn't that stuff that kills people like all the time, all over the place?" She's like, "Yeah, people who don't use it properly, I'm not going to kill you. This will make you feel better for the next few days until you get home and see somebody up there." So slapped the patch on, and I literally walked from the hospital to Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, only about a block and a half away. And I literally get there as you guys are coming out the back of the store with all 3 of our tickets and gift bags. So because of that, patch and the ER and all the timing of my decision, I actually still was able to spend the next 15 hours in line and then in the movie theater watching movies with, cool people instead of, being in horrid pain. So it was,
I'm still amazed that you made it through the entire day.
well,
Me too.
yeah, I don't recall feeling particularly high. But I didn't feel like I was in the horrible pain that I'd been in. And I was,
by the end of it,
yeah,
when I was sitting next to you, you
Yeah.
were in rough shape.
I was
was
not
time to go.
feeling great. It was time to go. I don't know if you guys remember, I threw up on the way out of the theater.
I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah, I walked into the lobby and I'm like, "Where's Sean?"
Well, because you went into the restroom, and this
Yeah.
isn't like a big AMC. This is
Yeah.
a very small,
Yeah.
indie theater kind of in Red Bank.
Yeah.
One tiny little bathroom, 2 screens. And I think Kenny, the comic artist kid from the Netherlands,
Yeah.
was trying to go in. He's like, no, you don't want to go in there. It's like, he's busy in there.
Yeah,
So-
it was just kind of, but yeah, I survived it, and some of the folks who were running it, and Danielle, my friend from the Facebook group, she was the one who was like, "Yeah, you really shouldn't be standing outside in line," because my wife was texting me as soon as she woke up. "Wait, you have a fentanyl patch, you're gonna die." It was like 90 degrees and 95% humidity. And so my wife, of course,
hot.
researching fentanyl, says, "Hey, yeah, it works fine unless you're hot, and then it comes out too fast and you die." And so I was reading it and kind of laughing to the people I was in line with, including this wonderful woman, Danielle. And I don't like to complain. I don't like to ask for special treatment in any respect. She's like, "You should just go tell them you need to go inside," because we'd been outside for an hour at that point.
Yeah.
And I didn't. So she runs off and she tells him, she's like, "This dude needs to go in." And so the guys come out and escort me in. I think the guy's name was Wayne, one of the staff dudes. Took me straight to Kevin, who took a picture with me and everything. And I got to pick the perfect seat where I could, stretch out. And
That's when you were pleasuring him, right? In the picture.
yeah, that's a
We'll get into that story
Look
later.
at that.
But yes,
Yeah.
lots of pain. but I ended up having a great time. Thanks to you guys and everybody else. Total luck that it worked out though, because my back's really screwed up.
Yeah, but it was funny too. Like you walk out of the hospital and you turn the corner and there we are with your stuff.
Yeah,
It's like
He's
everything.
literally
Yeah.
crossing the
Because
street.
I felt so bad that morning. I was like, oh, he's gonna miss it. That sucks. Because I know, like, if I missed it, I would be livid.
Well, honestly, I remember really not caring. I was really worried that it was going to mean you guys couldn't enjoy it, right? That was my big fear. I'd seen all the movies but one. I was miserable, right? So, but it worked out fantastic.
To your credit, that was the entire text string. Don't worry if I can't make it.
Yeah.
I want you to enjoy the day. I'm thinking
Well, that
you're
would
sitting at
make
the
it a
courtyard.
freaking waste, right? But it was awesome. And
So-
I got to see the quick stop and all that stuff. So it was
You
great.
did. You got to see the quick stop.
Yeah. So let's go over. So the day started out. So we found out about Sean in the hospital, and then we go down and get in line at the comic store because they were passing out badges at 7. We were only like Chris and I were only like 10 back.
Yeah, we got there pretty early.
It wasn't bad. So of course, everyone says like it was like 90. It was real hot even early in the morning. And of course, because I'm a perpetual toddler, I have like the Kevin wig on and the backwards hat, and I have like the black blazer and the T-shirt and the whole get up on.
You were
and everything.
full on Kevin costume.
Yeah, to the point where the guy in Starbucks almost gave me a free drink because he thought I was him. He started to write Kevin. I was like, no, I'm just no. I'll pay for my drink. It's not. I'm not him. So we got the stuff. Went and stood on over at the theater.
Note for DJ for the future.
Yeah.
Don't turn down free stuff.
Don't turn down free stuff. It's
No, you did the right thing.
there's much more time. We'll get to that some other night. But so we get in line and then it's pretty cool. So we're in line and Kevin pulls up, gets out of his car. There's one about 337
337 was the official number.
What's the official number? That's how many tickets.
Can't
they sold?
imagine why he used that number.
I don't know.
Imagine, I don't know.
They let us in a row. Yeah.
In a row,
So,
yeah. So as we're going in, he decides, to make sure everyone gets their, at least their minute with him. He's going to do photos coming in the door.
Which is kind of impressive.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I was because I've gone. So earlier on, I've always missed all his stuff. I had tickets for a Jane and Bob Get Old years ago. Something blew up at work. I got paged in. Even like when I think the first ever Q&A thing he did was actually at Clark University down the street from my house. I was in Hawaii at the time. I was like, Mom, I have to go back home.
Yeah.
I'll stay with Uncle Barry. I have to go back home. I have to go see it. She's like, no. I'm like, come on.
You mean she made the correct parental decision, you crazy
No,
fan?
she did not. So I didn't get to do that. So this was like so I was all amped up. So I was like, oh, cool. We're just gonna get pictures because I didn't know how I was gonna go because usually the other stuff like he's always on the go. He just ghosts out.
Yeah.
Shows over, boom, gone.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of FaceTime with him at Fan Expo because Chris went and just I'm just gonna go walk backstage and see who stops me. So Chris hooked me up on that one, but so we all got our pictures and stuff, and me and Chris have the blazer stuff on, and I'm about his height.
Yeah.
I'm about his weight. Well, not actually. Actually, now he's a little bit lighter than me because he's lost so much weight.
Yeah.
But even back when, like years ago, when he was like 350, I was like 370. So we were always kind of like the same body type,
Yeah.
same beard, the whole nine. So I walk up to him. Chris is behind me. We both have the jackets on, the pins on the jacket, everying.
The shoes.
The yellow Vans that we tracked down.
I hadn't noticed that
The
you
yellow
had them
fuzzies.
as well,
Yeah,
Chris.
yeah,
That was
hairy
impressive.
bananas. So we tracked those down, and it was great. It was hilarious. He was busting out laughing. So we took the picture of the three of us. He started off because he wanted to send it to his mom.
Yeah.
So he gives I forget who he gave the phone to. Just whoever's the next guy.
Whoever the
in line.
next
the
woman in line.
Yeah, the lady behind us in
taking
line.
pictures.
So takes picture for him, and then everyone else starts taking pictures. The newspaper's there. They hop in. They start taking pictures.
That's right. You guys.
So
were
we
there.
ended up at the top of the article on the Asbury Park Press.
Yeah.
Was the two of us and Kevin.
That's awesome.
So, which was pretty cool. And then I put on Twitter, and I got to take care because
It was a good picture.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't look just like him, but I have like the beard and stuff, and I have all the
Yeah.
same clothes, and so it's
People
it's
gave me
close.
all kinds of crap for not wearing jorts.
I know.
Although
I know.
felt vindicated when I saw him the other night on the DCU thing.
Yeah, and he had pants on.
He had
but-
jeans and the blazer
yeah,
on.
I
I'm
do.
like, "See,
I own 2 pairs of jorts just for dressing up like Kevin.
I own 2 pairs of jorts, but they were his.
Yeah.
I
He
don't-
literally
I don't own any that I
bought-
can wear.
Yeah. So right. Fan, short for fanatic.
Yes.
I'd like to point out that the two of you are crazy people. Right.
It's
Chris,
different levels.
you own his pants. You own
Yeah,
2 pairs
I
of
own
his
two-
pants.
2 pairs. Well, I had to bid on 2. I wasn't sure if I was going to win one. So it's just
I understand.
I'm
that,
hedging my bet.
Yeah. That
And
makes
the
sense.
only reason I don't own any of that stuff is because when all that stuff went for auction, I was just getting out of college, so
Yeah.
I didn't have the
No,
dough
so
for it.
you have an
I was
excuse,
behind the 8 ball on that stuff. But one day I will get.
I
Well, I
own
do
one
have-
of his jerseys, so
Yeah, I do
yeah.
have the Puck U jersey.
I was going to say, you were way ahead on all this.
No.
You had it before any of us.
Yeah. So we got the pictures, which was cool. Then we all filed into our theaters and stuff like that. And then so Chris and I were on screen 1. Sean was on 2 because he wasn't sure if he was going to go, bought his tickets a little later.
Yeah.
So I think we got the better draw for the movies. I think.
I don't know because you guys ended with Drawing Flies, which is a movie that I love.
Yep.
But
At midnight.
I ended with Chasing Amy.
No, you
No,
ended with
ended with
Clerks.
Clerks.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah, Clerks, which
But-
was
Yeah, but we got to watch Clerks with,
With
Harley.
Harley, yeah.
His daughter was there, who had never seen the movie before.
yeah.
So we
I
got
only
that
just
Q&A.
heard that when I listened to that
Yeah.
podcast, and I was a little, I got to see
That was
Harley
cool.
and stuff, but that definitely was pretty cool.
Yeah. So, and then also, after we watched all the movies and stuff. We got a dinner break. Actually, pretty cool. We went out for dinner. We just went and grabbed pizza, but as we were coming out, he was there, and we were able to get some time with him then too. Like pretty good, like FaceTime with him. Like I did, we had just between Chris and I probably about 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, you get to chit chat with him for a little while.
Yeah,
He tagged a
we
couple
chatted with
things.
him.
He
That's cool.
recorded a video for Harley,
That's cool.
just
Yeah.
saying hello.
So
and-
we've just said the name Harley twice in the last 90 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Nobody
Other
knows
Harley.
who either Harley is in this
Excellent
context.
point.
Might be worth mentioning.
This is Chris
So who's the
Steele.
first Harley?
Well, the first Harley is Kevin's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith, named after the Bruce Tim Paladini character from Batman the Animated Series.
Right.
Second Harley is my daughter, essentially named after the same character, but the idea is stolen from Kevin and him
Yeah.
naming his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, which he remembers every time because that's how I think he sees you like, oh, he's the guy with this kid with the same name as my kid.
Yeah.
I
thing.
think it
So
is.
again,
Which is
you
it
own
nothing
his
wrong
pants
with that. Nothing wrong handwriting at
and
home
you
every time.
copied his daughter's name. So
It is a totally non-sexual man crush. Although if he asked,
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a,
yeah.
I apparently I did have to pleasure him, but that's
There-
again
yeah,
another
we'll
story.
get there.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
we'll get to that.
So we did that. So we had the time at dinner, which was awesome. I brought a bag of stuff just in case he was signing stuff. So get some, my big thing was my Puck U jersey. I had him sign it
Yeah.
at Boston Fan Expo the year before, but I dropped my Sharpie some point in time throughout the night. So all we had was Chris's like copper one. So it was like a copper Sharpie on
Doesn't
a
show
blue
up.
hockey jersey.
Yeah.
No bueno.
Yeah, no.
So I brought the nice blue one, and he went up both numbers. The thing is signed freaking head to toe. It's awesome now. So I went back in, finished up the movies. You had the better second half run because it was late, and you were doing like the
I gotta think it was an easier sit going through the original 3 than it is trying to.
I think so. I mean, I'd seen almost all the movies. I've seen Clerks a ton. I saw that on VHS in '94. In a fraternity house in college, and was forever changed just by like, holy crap, this is a movie of us. It was wild. But I'd never seen A Better Place, Vinnie Pereira's movie, and I own all the rest. Now I own that one too. I think I bought the last copy off Amazon. So it was really cool to see something that I actually watched and paid attention to much differently than the others. Right? The others, it was a little more of an experience of, I'd never seen them with an audience, right? I've seen them in my house on VHS, Laserdisc, DVD, Blu-ray, streaming. I've now seen them in every possible, delivery format. But seeing them with a group of people who are tuned to those particular things was pretty fun. And the order, I think my order might have been a little bit easier, certainly for me who was, pained and drugged out of my mind, but
Even if you're predisposed to like these, it's a long day. That's a long
it
sit
was,
to get
yeah.
through
I had to
15
change-
hours.
yeah, I had to change clothes halfway
you
through the
guys
day.
did it without any pain medication, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not sure who had it.
Yeah, they weren't selling alcohol or anything.
Yeah,
So.
No,
it was
yeah. That
it
would've
was a
helped.
little hot
It
in
was
the
very hot.
theaters. I think your theater might have been hotter.
It was. I
think so too.
threw the blazer on for essentially the picture, and that was it.
Yeah.
I wasn't nearly as committed to this guy.
Well, again, it's
It's my thing.
There's
Every
different
night.
kinds of and levels of fandom, and
Yeah.
and
And take committed as however you feel.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we yeah. So we did that. So and then at the other reason why I think our string moves were a little better because at the end we got more time. Well, because we had a very short movie,
Yeah.
and a bunch of people fouled out, and there was probably I don't know what like maybe like a 2 dozen people left.
Yeah, somewhere.
Probably no more than 20 people left, and we all got like 5 minutes.
In the,
Almost.
in
You could
the
do
theater,
one-on-one, go
yeah.
up
It was
and
like
have a
one-on-one 5
conversation with
minutes.
them. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that was really cool.
I was I listened to some of the podcast of him talking at the end there. I mean, it's got to be a weird thing to, I don't know, just to be him or to be anybody that can pull together a random set of, over 300 people for your birthday to celebrate your world and your life, and just hang out. And he does have something in common or some topics of interest in common with every one of us that was there. So that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably go on for 2 hours, but all the stuff like, why we're Kevin people. 'Cause I think we're all there for the same reasons and also different reasons. But we'll do that another one. We'll do a whole. Maybe for his birthday next year, we'll do one.
Do another entire Kevin Smith conversation. Yeah.
So let me ask you about this, though. I've gone down there just because I travel to New York. I'm down in the area a lot, so I've been in Red Bank, gone to a bunch of the events. This was the first major event down there for both of you.
Yeah.
So what was your main takeaway? What was
That's a
the part
good
you
point.
liked it?
Well, so
liked the best?
had
or
you been
something?
down there at all before?
So the first time I ever went, so I've been trying to get down there for decades, and just never happened. The wife would fight it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I didn't have the cash to do it.
Well, I mean, it's
First time I'd ever gone down was about 3 weeks earlier because Chris was down there for work, and I'm like, so we talked about like, okay, let's go bang this out. So we went to the stash and went to a Mets game and stuff, and it was fun. But when we went down there, it was like I think only Mike was there.
Yeah, he was the only one.
Yeah, because we were supposed to do the shared universe stuff that night. Ming went out to like some dirt con like in Des Moines or something like that, so they had to cancel on us.
yeah.
But yeah, so went down. I bought another hockey jersey because you can never have too many hockey jerseys. I think I have about 3-4 dozen now between all the ones I have.
It's ridiculous.
Did that, bought a couple wall books. 'Cause and said we went and got pizza. I'd never been to New York City since I was like a kid.
Mhm.
So we went and got pizza. Went to the he was at work, so I went to the Disney store and the Nintendo store.
Oh, you actually got to play while Chris was at work.
Yeah, I
that's
was in the office
that's
for
unique. Yeah.
most
Yeah.
of it.
So it was pretty cool, because I mean, you see New York City on TV, and it's like, it's all this cool stuff. And of course, it's just it'll come up multiple times as we keep doing these. I have like just ways to just run into people. So I turn the corner, bump into Strahan as he's coming out of the building for
Nice.
Good Morning America, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I go back down. I go into the mall to go to the Nintendo store, walk right by Roker and stuff, and
Nice.
it always happens to me. So I did that, and then so we went to a baseball game. To me, I go a little quick like day and a half trip to New York. So that was my first time, and then we came home, and I think O'Halloran said something on Twitter about 20 years coming up.
Yeah.
And we thought it was like a lot of people thought it was like the 20th anniversary of Dogma. That's why a lot of people thought maybe Dogma's finally come out like on Blu-ray or 4K or
Right.
something like that. Because I don't think it's out on Blu-ray. Is it? I don't think it is. Or it's hard to find.
Dogma was out on Blu-ray, but I think it's out of print.
It's like vaulted now or something.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were speculating something like that. And then we were talking about like, okay, he's like, if it's a big thing, are we going? I'm like, yeah. We're like, what's the number that would stop us from going? I'm like, well, there really isn't one. But I was like, to be conservative, so I don't get murdered in my sleep. My wife, I'm like, let's go $250.
Right.
I'll pay $250 to go down there for the day and do whatever's going on.
Right.
It's like $70.
Yeah, I think it was like 65
Yeah, it
It was
cheap.
or
insane.
something.
And we got T-shirts. So there's like
Yeah.
$20 right there. And we got pins. Pins are like $10-15 a piece now. Nice pins too. It wasn't like a button.
Yeah.
It was like a nice like Disney style pin.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't sure I could go. I've had so much going on work. I'd spent 4 out of 5 weeks on work travel, so I hadn't been home. August 2nd is my youngest daughter's birthday. So I knew that going had a lot of things going against it. At the same time, I really don't do anything. I don't have a life. I work, I commute, and I'm at home with my family, and that's my entire existence. So an opportunity to go do something social with, guys like you and do something that's associated with, something that I'm usually a fan by myself, right? I'm a fan of these things. I listen to podcasts or watch movies or all these different things, and I don't get that experience with other people. So I decided I would buy a ticket just to enable myself of potentially going, right? Because it was 60 some bucks, I was like, all right, buying it just as a way to give myself the chance to do it. I'm really, really glad I
Just in
did.
case.
As soon as I found out that, you guys were going down and you were driving Chris, and that was, I basically went to my daughter. I'm like, would you forgive me if I was gone for 2 nights for your birthday? I missed every single one of my daughter's one or both birthdays every year for 11 years due to work. So, it wasn't a huge stretch for her to imagine what that would be like. We had a family birthday party before and everything. So she said, okay, my wife wasn't a fan of of that idea, but she's pretty supportive of, I really don't do much. I went to San Diego Comic-Con last year, 2017. So my wife wasn't a huge fan, but she's, supportive of me generally doing stuff that I really want to do if it's not going to kill anybody. So, so I'm glad it did, because it I don't know. I guess maybe if I hadn't gone down, my back wouldn't have screwed up, but I'm pretty sure it would have happened regardless, since it's not like it did anything down there.
It just kind of happened.
Yeah, it just kind of happened.
No, and you made it through the ride down and everything fine.
Yeah,
It
and the
wasn't
ride
bothering-
back.
yeah.
I mean, it
It's
was,
not bad either,
yeah. So
Yeah. So that's how August started off.
the first 3
that
days
was
of August.
Like, but like Chris, that was like our first, both you and I, like major trip down there.
Yep.
And it was a big deal. Like I go to a lot of cons and stuff like that, and he's still like one of the only people that, like, when I see him, I go like, ooh, that's Kevin
Yeah.
Smith.
Yeah, I think it's a unique thing, because I'd only been down. I'd been to the Stash once 10 years ago, because I had done some work nearby. I was down there for a few days.
Were you at
I was
Fort
at
Monmouth?
I was at Fort Monmouth for some stuff a long time ago, and so I was. In fact, I stayed at the hotel we stayed at this time, and so I'd gone over there, and at that point, I was Tell 'em Steve Dave had started, so it had to be in Tell 'em Steve Dave started in 2009, I believe. So
Yeah, it was a couple of years after Smodcast.
yeah, so I probably went down there in late 2009, early 2010. So I was a fan of Walt and Bry from that. I was a fan of Walt Flanagan because of Kevin's Batman Cacophony, and I think Widening Gyre was complete at that point. So I went to the Stash. Walt was there. I got to tell him, I was a fan, and he signed some, he sketched some stuff in the books that I bought from him and stuff like that. So that was all before they did the television show Comic Book Men, and revamped some of the store and stuff. So I'd seen it ages ago. Going down there now, when you not only have this, popular figure, Kevin Smith, but all these other ancillary characters who have their own TV show, and then that TV show is shot in a real store that is still, it's a very unique, strange environment. Red Bank itself is such a cool little,
Yeah, it's an interesting town, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm not sure that there's any analogous experience like going to a Comic-Con or going to San Diego, going to LA, and there's nothing that's comparable. No celebrity has a persistent existing house,
Yeah.
or like that.
It'd be like going to Cheers in Boston and walk in and Norm sitting at the counter or something.
Yeah,
like that.
kinda. Yeah. Interesting.
So that was the beginning of the month. So
We made it through 2 days.
yeah. So the rest of the month also was pretty crazy because around starting end of June through first week in September up in New England, it's con season basically for us. So week after that, we had the Boston Fan Expo, which is a gigantic, now that it's switched hands, Comic-Con up here in the Northeast. Chris and I both took the kids down for that one. I had my niece with me. We had to do the whole thing, stay overnight, did the full weekend. Big one for that one was, we had different big ones, I guess, right?
Yeah, this
Big
is
ones being specific
Like
people or
specific
things you
people to
wanted to
hit.
see.
yeah, this is probably the first con that I didn't drag the family to. They actually
Yeah,
dragged
that's
me
right.
to.
They dragged you to.
This
Really?
one was more for Heather and Harley than it was for me, which was interesting. It was more of a laid back con.
Yeah.
Not nearly anything like your experience.
Yeah. Well, my thing is like, if I had, I love Star Wars and comics and everything, but if I'd pick like one movie franchise, because it's just a movie franchise, like Star Wars is like a whole thing, but
Right.
just like I said, movies,
Yeah.
it's Back to the Future, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
So the fact that they had Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Leah Thompson, Tom Wilson, they were all there.
Yeah.
it was just like, yep, I'm going. Bought the ticket, done. And they added people that my daughter wanted to go and my niece wanted to go. And I paid for the hotel and the 3 VIP passes. I made them all costumes.
God.
We did the whole 9, and then all their people canceled. So my daughter, what was that Once Upon a Time show? She had to bail out. She had work. And then the kids from Stranger Things, for my niece, they pulled all the Stranger Things kids back for season 3. So it's still like we got some more stuff done, but so we did that. Like I think the Princess Bride cast was there. That's her favorite movie, so she got Carrie Elways done, which was awesome.
He's cool.
Yeah, he was awesome, and she like Wallace Shawn, Rex from Toy Story.
Inconceivable. Yeah, I love
that. Was wicked.
Yeah,
So she has the poster signed. I am getting the my big get for the weekend was the Back to the Future poster signed. Because also Drew Struzan was there, who's the.
Did you have him sign the poster?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
so
2 years in a row he's been there.
Yeah, we end up, so it sucks. It's like I wanted a certain poster that they didn't bring. They brought. He does these screen prints of the artwork from the Back to the Future posters without any of the top graphics on them. They're gorgeous.
And that's the DeLorean quarter pointed with Marty.
Yep,
and
with Marty with the watch.
With
correct.
the watch.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's all I wanted. So the thing was, he had a bunch of them pre-signed by Michael J. Fox, and they were bucks. They were like $385. That one was, I think.
and these are full one sheets.
You're talking
like,
the single
you know,
sheets, right?
Yeah, I think it was
those are
$385.
more. That sounds right.
But I'd already prepaid for 2 Michael J. Fox autographs at $200 a wax. I'm like, I want to. So I went with we both got the same poster. It was the Trips. So it was a longer one. I think it was like 28 by 43 with all 3 Back to the Future posters on it. Same thing, no top graphics, just the artwork, all screen printed. So yeah, he signed it, and then the 4 cast members all signed it.
That's great.
So that was like, yeah. Plus I have the hoverboard replica that Maddie collector
Yeah,
made.
yeah.
I got that bad boy signed too.
So I got to ask a question because this is something where you guys have a lot more experience, and probably desire to go to cons than I traditionally do. I've really enjoyed meeting celebrities at different points in time. Hate waiting in line. I mean, how much time did you spend? We already know you spent a ton of money, but how much time to get those 4 signatures from the cast plus Drew Struzan? How long did you stand in line for just those 5 signatures?
So let's see. So I got Tom Wilson done quick because it was right for his photo op.
Okay.
So the line, and I waited till like Saturday afternoon
His
to
line
do
was
it.
manageable.
It was manageable. Her line was manageable as well. We just, which by the way, she's like in her 50s, I guess, and she is still a dime.
She looked amazing.
Oh my god! And then she was so nice too, like so nice. Christopher Lloyd's line, I timed it. I just timed things well. Like I waited. He was doing a photo op. They had a DeLorean replica.
Oh,
they were doing a photo op with him in the DeLorean replica. And I'm like,
that's pretty badass.
okay, cool. So I went up to his the person who was on the line. Like, when's he coming back? Like, we don't know. I was like, give us like there was like 5 of us sitting there. I was like, give us numbers. So he goes, okay. So they started writing numbers on a Post-it note. I'm like, bam, spot in line. Waited.
Smart.
Yep. So I only waited for him for about 5 minutes. Where at some point in time during the weekend, his line was insane.
That's something logistically. I'm a big logistics and process person. If they did stuff like that, like I just spent a week at Universal and Disney, if they thought about ways to minimize, right? Nobody minds having a place in time or having to have other people's go first or last if they can get their time. But having to spend hundreds of dollars for a weekend full of things, and instead of enjoying those things, spend hours standing and sweating. It's just not. It's cruel. And inefficient. You can take a lot more money from me if you let me wander around and spend it.
Yeah. No, it's definitely Disney World-ish.
Yeah.
When it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Boston's worse. Some of the larger ones, like New York's better about doing what DJ just explained. They'll do the Post-it notes for any of the big ones. You go, went to see Carrie Fisher or Mark Hamill, any of those guys.
Nice.
You're getting them in order. You get in line because they don't know when the photo ops are going to take place. Mark goes wandering off, anything like that. Boston, this is the first year. Last year they weren't doing much of that either.
They had like a VIP, like we had like VIP passes. They had like premium VIP passes where there's like fast passes for some of the people.
Right.
But I only saw like the lines for that for like Momoa and Wasp, which are named Evangeline Lilly.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't have separate lines set up for it, but if you walked up to the people working the line, you could skip the line on any of them.
Yeah. So the Michael J. Fox stuff, since they pre-sold all his autographs, you couldn't buy them on site.
Right.
You got a ticket with a time.
Okay.
That was the only thing. That's the one thing that was kind of dumb is they had his signing time at like 3:30 in the afternoon. he was real tired by then. I
Yeah.
felt bad for him, but no,
Well,
discredit, he's a trooper still. So.
Yeah, I imagine, that it's rougher for him to spend day after day doing that stuff. But I mean, you're a perfect example of a fan of that franchise and the opportunity that you got as a result of him putting out that time and effort is you can buy it because you did. But I mean, that opportunity is not something that's going to happen frequently, if ever.
Because I think
right?
because I know he's, as we speak, he's up in Fan Expo Canada in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's only doing that one because it's near his house. Because I think he's from Toronto.
Okay. Yeah.
But I've heard he's tapped. He's done.
Yeah.
So this was like the last shot.
He had an annual contract with Fan Expo.
Yeah,
he was supposed to do Dallas, and he had to tap. That's the only reason Affleck ended up showing up down there. They had to pay a boatload of money to fly him in for one day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think maybe he was doing Toronto as a makeup for Dallas, then possibly.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so we did that. So we also, the cool thing we did was actually we had basically back-to-back weeks where we got to spend one of our favorite people's birthday with them because it was Jim Lee's birthday.
Oh yeah.
And we had VIP things with Jim Lee. Anyone doesn't know, Jim Lee is the executive creative director at DC Comics now, and
so.
possibly the best
publisher. Yeah, he's doing a lot.
And basically the best Batman / Justice League artist ever, probably.
He certainly ranks up there.
Well, for my age, for me,
yeah,
I know Jim Lee.
His stuff's real sharp
yeah.
and recognizable.
For me,
and
I know
great.
Jim Lee from 91 X-Men #1, the book that basically started my entire generation on comic collecting, all the way into when he formed.
8 million of you have a copy.
Yes, all 8 million of us do. Some of us 4 or 5, and then
Chris has 12.
Yeah, founded Image into Wildcats, came
Yeah.
back. Did a lot of the New 52 Justice League covers and stuff. So
Yeah.
he's awesome. But
Yep.
so we got to do that. Got a couple books signed and graded. Got a litho. So that was pretty good. So and then actually I don't know you, but I didn't buy that much stuff at Fan Expo. I wanted to.
Other than the autographs?
I couldn't find anything. My thing was I was like I want a new, real nice like Green Lantern statue. I didn't want like a maquette from like one of the animated movies. I want like a nice like premium format. Like sideshow quality or like a tweeter head.
Sure.
Green, no one had any. Everyone just had Funkos.
And
was
Sean,
You're
just-
part of the problem, though.
I know
there,
I am, but
TJ.
still. But something like that, I expected like better
no,
stuff.
it was booth after booth of Funkos.
Yeah.
Do you know how much easier it is to ship and display and sell Funkos than it is to ship and display and sell premium format figures?
Yeah,
You
I
are
know.
part of the problem.
I know.
What they do now is they just have the Funkos on the racks and they shrink wrap it. They come
Yeah,
in with a pouch.
yeah. I mean,
the shelves
literally, and
drive it to the
they're
next show.
Yep.
relatively durable. They're light. I mean, it's your fault.
I know it is.
Both
No,
of you.
you
You should be
would've-
ashamed.
I know.
You would have hated this show, Sean, because trying to shop for books
Yeah.
wasn't. I didn't buy a single book the entire weekend.
I bought one. I bought that. They had a couple of the San Diego Comic-Con Batman #50 Jim Lee covers, the gold foil variants
Yeah.
with the rain scene.
Yep.
I bought that as one of my books to get done.
Oh, you
'cause I
know
just
what? We
love
bought
cover.
that at the DC booth. So I
Yeah,
bought
because
one.
they had the DC boutique from San Diego Comic-Con there,
Yeah.
which
You
was
buy
nice.
the T-shirts and stuff. But
Yeah,
yeah, so that would be the only book that I bought.
Yeah. So you didn't have any you didn't have like a big get for
I had
collectible stuff.
I had a list that I went through. There were some keys that I was looking for, but everything was like 10 and 15% too high.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the prices were
The
up.
prices were way high. And
Yeah.
from talking to people, specifically like the boys over at the Hall,
Yep.
Hall of Comics in Southborough, Mass. It seemed like most of the vendors they talked to, they gave all the deals on Friday because the rates on all the booths went up so high. They were trying to cover their nut day one.
Right.
So they were cutting deals. They got their money back, and then they just held it,
Put it up.
Yeah.
inflated the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
They didn't have to drop the prices at all.
So, as in a very rare occurrence, both him and I went to a convention for a weekend and didn't get a big get. Usually, like we're always on the prowl for something.
In terms of material purchased
Correct.
and
Material,
carried
yes,
away.
material
Yeah.
toy possessions, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
or comic possessions.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Very good distinction.
yes, no. I got my poster. It's actually I got the call from the framers today. It's done. I'm very happy,
Yeah.
and my daughter got her stuff done, and my niece got to meet Pee Wee Herman, which he was stoked
Oh,
about.
cool.
So he was awesome too. He was nice, and I got Billy D. Williams done. Tara Strong was there for my daughter. So
Right.
for my daughter, she's basically Mel Blanc. She's like
Yeah.
every cartoon character she
Yeah.
loves. She has the voice for. Pinky and the Brain were there.
Nice.
Oh, so to segue back to the Vulgarthon stuff. So we were in the front page of the paper.
Yeah.
I'm in line when we get to Boston Fan Expo, and I'm just like, I just wore street clothes.
Yeah.
However, for me, coincidentally, street clothes mostly is hockey jerseys
Hockey
and
jerseys,
hoodies and
yeah.
backwards baseball caps.
Yeah.
So I'm in line to buy lanyards for the kids so they can put their passes on lanyards. And the guy at the booth is staring me down. I'm like, I stole something. I'm like, hi. He's like, I know you. I'm like, nah, dude, you don't. I have no idea who you are. He's like, no, I know you. I'm like, no. He's like, were you in Red Bank, New Jersey last week? I'm like, yes. I saw you on the paper. You're the guy that was like Kevin. And then
That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
That's
and then we went over. We were getting just like autographs Friday. I forget. I think you guys went to go do a photo op. But I was with Pinky and the Brain, and the guy who does Pinky and Yakko and all them, Rob Paulson. He's looking at me. He's like, "You look like my buddy Kevin." I'm like, yeah. He's like, so yeah. He saw the picture too, and he knew I was from the picture. So
Yeah.
I'm the Kevin guy now. Happened
That's
at
good.
last year at Fan Expo too. I went to another convention a week after, and the picture of me and Kevin ended up on Imgur. And I was on the front
Yeah,
page of Imgur
somebody
for,
put
like,
it up, yeah.
for
Yeah.
months, and I had like a zillion fake internet points. And hey, you're the Kevin Smith guy. I'm like, yeah. I had
Yep,
one guy. Like,
that's me.
there's a vendor guy I always see now. He calls me Kevin Smith now, which is kind of funny. So he's like, hey, Kevin. I'm like, but
There are far worse people to
Yeah.
be mistaken
yeah,
for.
yeah, exactly.
Very true.
Yeah. So as far as like what our thing is, books and collectibles and stuff, Boston Fan Expo was kind of a bust, but we got some good signatures and got some good meet and greets. What was your big one again? It was none other than
well, I saw
Garza
your-
Arthur Curry himself, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Momoa. I mean,
I saw those
That was the big
pictures.
boy.
My favorite was your wife's comment or caption when she posted her picture that said, "Does anybody know a good divorce lawyer?" Yeah.
to be fair,
To be fair, I mean
that's-
the man is a
He's a beautiful
special
man.
Yeah, yeah.
He
I
is.
mean,
Yeah,
that's-
he is. He's
he obviously I've never met him, but the look on his face, he looks like an intelligent, engaging, fun dude. Right? I mean, what was your experience of meeting him? Because the look on his face is not just empty smile or, hey, I look pretty. It looks like he's having fun and is kind of
Oh,
sarcastic.
he was clearly having fun. You get in his autograph line, and he brings out his own Bluetooth speaker.
Oh.
He has a Marshall's Bluetooth speaker, and he's playing DJ from his phone, and you'll hear the music going up and down as a song comes on that he enjoys.
Nice.
And he's dancing behind the table. He's engaging with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he has a good time while he's doing it.
yeah.
It's good to be
does.
rich and beautiful.
I know, seriously.
It doesn't suck.
Yeah, we skipped him this time because he was at Rhode Island about 2 years ago.
So you
When he got cast as, I was like the week he got announced as Aquaman, he was there. So we got him done then, and same thing. He's at the table. He's got the 30 record chords under the table and stuff. He's cranking the music. He was they put him in a room with Michael Rooker, which was great.
Oh, nice.
So Rooker's like
Rooker's
stealing his
amazing.
speaker, and he's come back and they're like wrestling over the speaker and stuff. And yeah,
love
just
Rooker.
so basically, if you've never met Jason Momoa, and you saw Justice League, and
which
you're
I
like,
haven't. I'm a bad fan.
You haven't watched Justice League?
I haven't, and that's a whole
like-
separate.
Is there a reason why?
Yeah,
Or-
I mean I don't want to interrupt August
no.
with it, but it'd be interesting to talk about because I'm a huge Batman DC fan, right? I have a lot of comics. I have spent a lot of money on comics, primarily DC, Batman, Detective, and when it comes to the movies, the Marvel movies and the DC movies are just
It's night and day.
I enjoy the crap out of the universe that has been painfully, slowly, successfully built back from Iron Man 1. And I haven't honestly disliked, I actually, Batfleck is my favorite movie, Batman, for in a number of metrics. But Batman v Superman, including the long cut, I liked it okay. I thought Wonder Woman was pretty entertaining. Very well done. I enjoyed that a lot. And, sort of the social, the review, the worldwide opinions conveyed about Justice League, nothing's made me really want to watch it. And I actually have it, I have it downloaded on my iPad. I did at one point. I carried it around for months. And I just haven't found, I don't have a lot of time to watch movies to begin with.
Yep.
But it is kind of weird that as such a fan of Batman, and I haven't done that, right? It's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a longer discussion.
yeah. I mean, it's
we
you
get
know,
into, like,
Dive.
we get, I mean,
Yeah.
like, I understand like why people don't like the DC movies. I understand the.
well, it's not
dyna-
dislike;
Well, no, I
it's
say, like-
engagement and interest.
No, I mean, compare them to the Marvel movies. That
Yeah.
Marvel's obviously vastly superior because of Warner Brothers reasons, etc. But anyway, if you do see Justice League,
I
a
will.
lot of people didn't like Aquaman because he's basically like a bro.
Yeah. Which isn't
So-
the traditional
Yeah,
Aquaman.
and it's,
yeah.
no, it's not Super Friends Aquaman. It's not even like,
No, it's like
Jeff
Surfer
Johns
Dude.
like New 52 Aquaman when he's more of a kind of a hard ass.
Yeah.
He's Momoa
It's
playing
Jason
Aquaman.
Momoa with a spear. That's exactly how Jason Momoa
Yeah.
is every day of his life.
Yeah.
But
That's
to
all
be
it is.
fair, Bruce Willis has played himself for the last 25 years.
That's
so
true. That's true.
It's,
That's true. Yeah. So that was awesome. So
I'll watch it. You
Yeah.
can give me an assignment to.
so we get
we'll
we'll go.
We'll
over
get to that.
Yeah. So we get done with Boston Fan Expo, and then I was thinking I was done. You were kind of thinking you were done too.
I wasn't planning on
We were
going next
we weren't
weekend.
planning on going to Boston until even with Michael J. Fox, I was like, because last year we went heavy on the cons too, but we went. There's another convention up in our area called Terrificon at Mohegan Sun.
You've gone to that one before?
Yeah, it's a
I have.
good convention. It's run by a guy Mitch, who I've met a couple times.
Yeah. I can't
He's a
remember.
big comic fan, so it's really like it's more centralized to artists and the books as opposed to just celebrity meet and greets.
Yeah.
So we weren't gonna go, but Ming and Mike were down there. Ming said, come on down and do some recording. So we did that, and then I told my kids, like, you want to go down? Just here's the list. Who do you want to see? And they had Beast Boy and Cyborg from Teen Titans Go.
Right.
So okay, we'll go bang those out. Ralph Macchio was there. Like, I'll bang out Ralph
That
Macchio.
was Harley's big get.
Yeah, it was Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, she fell
So
for
how
Karate
is
Kid in a
Harley-
big bad way.
Yeah.
So when did she,
I've showed it to her.
okay.
Yeah.
Because she's pretty young to be like that. Surprised me, a Ralph Macchio fan.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the only child syndrome. You start
I
start
probably need to
feeding
show
some of
my
that
kids
stuff
Karate
a
Kid.
little earlier.
I tried with that stuff. Like even like with my daughter Athena, she's a black belt in martial arts. So I was like, Karate Kid, yeah. And the '80s stuff, Goonies,
There's a sensibility about some of those things that don't always engage with folks.
it doesn't. But on the plus side, I got the comic books, I got the hockey. My kid's a hockey goon, so I won that one. I got all the Marvel movies and the action movies and stuff, and so I, the MMA. So I got some stuff.
I think Harley's very similar in that they both realize as an only child if they like what daddy likes, there's more attention, there's more activities, there's more
Yeah.
money.
More-
It's
yeah.
you get more and get to go do more.
I had that for a while.
Yeah.
Then they found, devices and, the remote control for the TV.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, she loves the devices, but
Yeah, no, Athena legit loves going to conventions. I've been taking her probably 4 or 5 years now, so she just turned 17. Actually, her birthday was Boston Comic Con weekend, and at first she was kind of like shy and stuff like that, but now like Carrie always gave her a big hug after the thing because he found out it was her birthday and stuff. And I
Yeah.
can, she's 17 now, whatever. He's a good-looking chap. I guess your knees buckle up a little bit. She got a little noodle leg and shit.
see, Harley's not old enough where
Yeah.
she's into the boys just yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
But she's a little mini director.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
she's staging the pictures now. Like, okay,
yeah.
you're gonna go pose with Jason, and I'm gonna stand over here and do this.
Yeah.
It's like she knows exactly what she wants out
Yeah,
of these things.
yeah.
now.
She knows where the cheap seats are and
She
where
was
the VIP line is. So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she was framing the Kevin picture last year. Okay, this is how you guys are gonna stand, and this is who's gonna be here. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So we did down to Terrificon for a day. Did you pick up any stuff, books or toys or anything like
Actually,
that?
that was much better for book shopping. So I've been on this little run where I want to collect the 3 Flash Superman races.
Oh,
So I was
okay.
able to get the second and the third ones for really affordable prices down there.
What's the first one?
Superman 199.
Which is what?
That's
The 50s?
oh god. No, it would have been the beginning of the 60s.
Okay. But it's, it's
a
an
bigger-
older book.
It's a bigger
yeah.
book. Even as a 4 or 5, you're probably looking a couple bills
Yeah, so
somewhere in there. Where you could get the second and the third one, that's more affordable, like the $40, $50, $60 range, somewhere in there. It was a lot easier, much like what we found the first time we went down there.
yeah.
You could do a lot more shopping at Terrificon. A lot of the vendors came out from New Jersey, New York, all
Yeah.
of those other small ones. They'd negotiate a little bit more.
I've really only been to 2 what I would consider real conventions, like non-regional conventions. Terrificon with you, and then San Diego Comic-Con in 2017. And the Terrificon one I found, it sounds like it was kind of similar to when was that in 2016 that you and I went. It's a couple years ago. It wasn't
yeah,
last year. It was 2016. But I bought so much of my want list. I mean, I laid out a ton of money, but but it was a great comic show for me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where you found like
Yeah.
your first Ivy, and
Yeah.
things- yeah.
Mhm.
And
And
the prices are very reasonable.
The prices
Yeah.
were much
and
better.
most of the people there are like actual comic vendors, so you
Yeah.
can barter. They're not,
And
So these
Mike
newfangled
and
stores.
Ming and Brian Johnson were there that year, and
Yep.
getting to sign.
that was the Katrina Law year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Katrina's
yeah, yeah.
awesome.
God,
Such
yeah.
a fantastic.
Oh, that was that was
person.
the Kevin year.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Because
yeah.
who else was there? TS was there.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah, that's
Jay
right.
was
We got
there,
TS to sign.
yeah.
Jay was there.
So
That was a
You
good
have
show.
John
posters
Wesley
and stuff.
Shipp was there.
I
Yeah.
had many of those people sign my iguana.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was a good show. I only bought one book. I got the because was it Mike Zeck was there,
Yeah.
who did the very famous Secret Wars cover with the first black suit Spidey on it.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a variant cover he did for a GI Joe anniversary book, drawn just like that cover, but had Snake Eyes on it.
Oh, cool.
So I got that, got it signed,
Nice.
and then I picked up my Vince McMahon Chase Pop I wanted with the pink jacket from early '80s.
The only Chase Pop I've ever gotten shipped to me direct from Amazon.
I know.
That's the only time I've lucked out.
I only paid $25 for it. It wasn't
That's
bad.
not bad.
It's not bad for a Chase Pop. So
No.
same thing. It was like I came home with money in my pocket, which was kind of weird.
We only spent the afternoon there on Friday. Harley and I went down late. I didn't get close to many of the artists. Like I really wanted to see Alan Davis when we were down there, but his line was insane.
Yeah.
This guy, you'll know Alan Davis from some of the old Batman runs. He also did Batman and the
Sounds
Outsiders
familiar. Mhm.
with Mike W. Barr.
Yep.
He doesn't do U.S. cons at all. Somehow they got him over, and the guy was doing sketch covers for $60.
It's insane.
Everybody was in line.
Yeah.
You just couldn't get near the guy.
Saturday was a lot busier. Is it Jim Starling, who created Thanos
Starling
in
was
the
there.
Infinity War?
Yep.
Roy Thomas was there all day.
Starling's line was insane. Because now everybody and their uncle, their favorite
Wants-
character is Thanos.
Yeah.
Which is funny. When I was a kid, if you knew who Thanos was, you got flushed in a toilet or stuffed in a locker because no one knew who Thanos was. He's on
Being
earrings.
fan men means a good portion of our lives were spent when being a fan was not what it is today.
No.
Right? I mean, it's so I'm 48 basically. You got to be around there.
44?
44. I'll be
36.
Okay, so we cover a spread where being a nerd in any sense, like in comics, like stuff, puts you in a different kind of world.
yeah.
Whereas today, it's almost
Detrimental almost.
Yeah. Whereas it's the opposite now, right? Everybody likes what they like.
Exactly.
There's still people give each other crap about it, but
Yeah. But because of the Marvel movies and like Big Bang Theory, it's more
Yeah.
acceptable
It's
now, so-
mainstream now. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was our busy month of August. So, so we ramble on for hours.
Yeah,
on
I'm
end.
trying to think of anything else that went on. I mean, that was a really quick con. Actually,
It was.
I
It was
think
a quick hitter.
there was one thing that I thought of. Somebody that you would have enjoyed. Garcia Lopez was there.
Oh
again,
yeah,
so
who is now back actively working for DC.
really?
He's been doing, he's doing some of the new Justice League. Those Walmart special edition books they're doing.
yeah,
He's been doing some of the artwork in
So-
those.
Really?
I
He's
hadn't
working for them
heard
again.
about those until I saw something about their prices going up. So I have none of them,
You can still find them in the stores.
but I'd have to
bump
go to
into 'em.
Walmart. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the bad part.
They were available online
It's-
at one point in time too.
You
I
saw
didn't think
that
you'd
was
go into
the
that.
one thing that bugged me at TriffCon. You saw there were some dealers that clearly just went in and took the entire display,
Yes.
Yeah.
and they had it sitting at their table.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't give anybody else a
Yeah.
chance.
They actually had like the pop up cardboard.
Yeah, the
tray.
whole
They were-
cardboard
yeah.
display, and instead of $5 a pop, they're selling them for 10.
Yeah.
But we have all 4 issues for you. But it's weird. They've taken all the creators and basically put them in a cup and shook them up.
Yeah.
So, like Amanda and Jimmy, for example, they've segued off of Harley Quinn. They're doing a Wonder Woman story, I believe.
I think so.
Bendis is doing a Batman story.
Within the current runs or as side stories?
Side stories.
Yeah. They're,
so it's not.
I think they're like retelling of some like basically the classic stuff and the origin stuff, just kind
Mm-hmm.
of brought more modern. It's to suck, these kids are watching
There's-
the movies and the new cartoons into the books.
Yeah, there's some
That's
mix.
good.
There are original
smart.
stories in each of them that they're having right, but there's a lot
Yeah.
of the retelling of.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Marvel movies basically own the world right now. But when you get into the other media within the comic world, DC they are putting their foot on the gas and they're not letting up, trying to draw people into animated and books and stuff, which we'll get into
Yeah.
Yep.
on another episode with the DCU stuff. But
Cool.
so what we're going to try to do also is every episode we're going to try to end with a top 3 list to kind of encompass either something we talked about that day or something else. For this one, we're going to do the top 3 things that we enjoyed about Vulgarthon, since that was all our kind of big get for the month.
All right.
So start with number 3. Who wants to start?
I'll say, I mean, we kind of touched on it, but seeing Vinnie Pereira's movie A Better Place was really cool because it comes from an era that I remember, and from the View Askew context of Kevin Smith's productions and stuff, but really stands out as something different, and I really enjoyed it. It's been a while since I've seen an older independent film that didn't suck, I mean, it was really, I really was surprised by how much I enjoyed it.
I think for me, it's probably just the FaceTime you had with Kevin, just to be, and not so much at the end of the day or when we were walking in. We caught him at dinner break.
Yeah.
Got a chance to talk to him for like 5 or 10 minutes there. The fact that the guy's an elephant and doesn't forget anything,
It's
like
insane.
referencing, want to chit chat with him for a second because I had gone out to LA for the FANMEN on Batman right after the heart attack. And Harley made him a card and everything like that. And his eyes lit up because he remembered the card and he remembered Jen giving it to him. And he's more than happy to do a little recording so he could let Harley know that he was okay directly. That's probably the biggest takeaway.
My number 3 thing was probably Kevin's friend Ernie, who plays Rick Darris.
Yep.
Just the constant amount of shit I got from him all day because of like the whole costume thing.
Yeah.
Every chance he had to bust my balls, he did. It was pretty fun. So, and I had never met him before, so it was kind of cool.
He seemed pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't mean he'd be like, "Fuck, Christ, it's you again, Jesus Christ!" I keep...
I'll tell you a good Rick Darris story someday.
Excellent. Okay.
We've done a lot of
Yeah.
Kevin.
So, number 2.
Number two thing would be the getting my own kind of special, being able to get my seat early because of my back and being on drugs and all that crap, pain drugs, medically prescribed pain drugs. I was able to get set up in the back of the theater, and I took over turning on and off the light between the movies and stuff like that from Ernie, so he didn't have to keep coming back and stepping over me and stuff like that. But it was it was a different standout experience. He was an interesting, he has a personality.
Yeah, definitely.
I think for me, the second one would be the podcasting. Hanging out with Mike and Ming and just going through the process. And not so much the learning. I missed that whole first hour when you guys were going over that. But just sitting at the table and shooting the shit with the two of them.
Yes.
You fall into it very easily, like it's just having a conversation with friends.
Yeah. No, that was my number 2 as well. I've met them a handful of times now, probably more than anyone else in that whole clique of guys, and they're especially Ming's great.
And those guys, much like Kevin, they remember you every time. Mike calls you by name. I walked into the room.
Oh yeah.
Ming gets up from the my God, I haven't seen you in so long. How you been?
It's
funny.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah. Now we email and stuff like that, and like if I text him a question, he'll text me back and stuff like that, and it's cool. So yeah, the whole shared universe thing was awesome to the point where we're definitely gonna try to make that a reoccurring thing over time.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah, that sounds cool.
numero uno, number 1.
Numero uno. For me, it's kind of a surprise that came out of the experience, but that first night when we got down there while you guys were playing poker and podcasting, that dinner with the Four Color Demon Forever Facebook group, that's really the first time I've had kind of a niche fandom. You meet folks online, you chat, or read posts or stuff, and you kind of have that online group. But actually meeting a bunch of folks who you'd kind of seen their faces or seen their words or knew their names, and there's probably about a dozen of us at a table in the diner, and meeting them, and particularly the guy that I sat next to, just by the luck of me arriving last, I sat at the head of the table, and I'm sitting next to a cartoonist who flew in from the Netherlands. So a guy I would never meet at any point in life, right? But our very specific fandom, in fact, our sub-fandom, right? We're in town for the Kevin Smith View Askew birthday party, 20th anniversary Vulgarthon. So that's one kind of, 337 people who, this is not on a weekend, right? This is a Thursday.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
You're taking time out of your work.
Yeah, it's a special
You're
group of crazy
scheduling
fans.
around.
But then within that, these dozen people are also crazy Tell 'em Steve Dave fans and decided to spend their evening getting together,
Well,
to
that's a
have,
good distinction because it's not the same
it's
brand of
not
whimsy.
the same.
It's,
No.
It's related. I got to one through the other,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a completely separate, independent
There's
thing.
people that in that group that they've never even seen like Clerks
Exactly.
or Chasing Amy or Mallrats.
yeah, that day
Yeah.
was a new experience for some
Yeah.
of those
So
people.
that in and of itself was a real highlight for me. I mean, everyone I met there was an interesting person. There was a guy, Frankie, really young guy that I would have never met any of them, but I think Kenny and Steven and Marcus and I'm forgetting another guy, Canadians and a guy from the Netherlands, people that were other countries, other parts of the planet that I had an evening with. He gave me some, he brought these trading cards that he made because he's a cartoonist. So he had these little Kevin Smith trading
Yeah,
cards.
those are amazing.
Yeah, he gave me a set of those. He gave me a patch. Stephen gave me some stickers. Danielle saved me from dying from the heat and fentanyl.
Thank you again for babysitting, Danielle.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
thank you.
and so many people did some really cool things, but that, I knew I was going to be hanging out with you guys, fellow fans, fellow folks from up here. But there was just a lot of really cool family fandom that in person makes the online stuff and the random internet bullshit mean a lot. And that was not something I was really kind of thinking I was going to get.
No, that's definitely cool. I wasn't expecting something too. People that you in Facebook groups with, you get to meet them in real life, and because everyone's kind of the same in that, which was kind of cool. So,
I think I have a 1 and a 1A. I think and I can't
Nope,
really rack
denied.
and stack them up.
they're both.
No,
White
it's my
Castle.
basement. I can set the rules.
Damn it.
So we'll go 1A first. Just the fact that
So is 1A below?
below 1.
Okay. Good,
Yeah,
got it.
below 1. Being able to sit there, something that you've been fans of for 20 odd years.
Mm-hmm.
And you touched upon this early in the episode. This was the first time I've watched them on VHS and DVD. And
Oh, yeah.
Chasing Amy I saw with my wife. That was one of our first dates
Yeah.
in the theater when it came out 22 years ago. And it's something like you touched upon before, Sean. You're fans of these things for 20 odd years. We've watched these movies by ourselves or with our groups of friends here, but you never had that shared experience of a full theater of people that were invested in something and enjoyed it or liked it in the same way that you did.
Yeah.
Connected it with the same way. Everybody's laughing at the same beats and it was a very relaxed environment. You and I, Sean, have gone to Kevin movies before.
Yeah.
Where clearly people in the theater wanted no part of what we were watching.
Yeah.
And some got up and left. It's one of those things.
Tusk.
Exactly. I mean, we're going into
Yoga
some of the later
hosers,
ones.
I love them all.
But to have that kind of an experience where everybody was invested, everybody was enjoying it, you kind of, much like your group at dinner, you found your tribe.
Yeah.
It's that kind of a thing. So that was a really cool experience for me. And I guess my top one would be, I started dragging my poor wife to these events 15 years ago. We started going down to Red Bank to various things. And what will never cease to amaze me is you have people like us going in and out of these guys' lives all the time. They see fans like us, and if it was me, it would end up being one blur. It's just like one giant face at the end of it. Ming, any of them, they all remember you. It's like you're being welcomed back into a community down there. And it's the people, and I'm not just talking the actual talent, the people you're going to see. It's the fans, the Danielles.
Yeah.
You're going to see those same faces over and over again. I saw people that I had seen at events 10, 12 years ago, and you still remember them, much like Gavin.
Yeah.
Seeing him
Yep.
at one of the other. I mean, there's certain people that have been part of the community for so many years, and it's kind of cool reconnecting with them.
I think
after so
there's a
long.
piece of that obviously it reflects well upon the guys themselves who remember and recognize you, but there's a flip side of that when you are the kind of fan who has a persistent presence online, in person, at events over years, does things that go beyond just showing up and clapping and cheering or listening online to, making the time to go to a special closed event, showing up at the poker table over years, buying a dude's sweaty shorts and naming your daughter after him, right? These are the things that anchor a fan.
It's funny. You mentioned the poker thing, and one of the guys at the first table I was sitting at, I was sitting next to in '07 when we were down there for the prom.
Yeah.
I mean, it's things like that. I'm like, oh my God, Mike, I haven't seen you in 11, 12 years.
Yeah.
And you're able to fall back into some of those conversations. It's cool.
It takes a fan who's just a little more than a consumer, right? Well, there's certainly, and of course there's the crazies, right, who are obsessed. I don't think the three of us are anywhere close to that, though I think we have, DJ's close maybe. But, I think there's something special there in you and your interaction with that meets up with these guys who are certainly in the Kevin Smith universe, none of those guys are folks who went to acting school and have been in the entertainment industry their entire lives. These are people who had real jobs. Some of them turned them into other things Kevin did a long time ago in a lot different career. But these are much more regular people. So while it's surprising, they're celebrities, they are people that have had you in aspects of their lives repeatedly. You have been in pictures, DJ, things like that. So so that stickiness goes multiple directions.
Yep.
But yeah, good stuff.
How about you, sir?
I'm going to go with just the whole kind of piggyback of Chris's number 3 and his number 1 is all the FaceTime stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's kind of cool. I'm a schmoozer. I'm an elbow rubber. So it's kind of cool when you walk in the store. Ming remembers your first and last name. And Mike knows your first and last name. And Kevin remembers you from like a year before, like, a couple years before like he does. And, it remembers like tweets he favorited or retweeted and stuff like that. And so that was always pretty cool. I'm a meet and greet guy. I like to do stuff like that.
I hadn't thought about it, but get him remembered what my Twitter icon looked like.
There you go. And then same thing, because I had like the costume. I don't call it cosplay. It's a costume. I'm a giant toddler. I dress up like people.
Yeah, man.
And people were, oh yeah, no, you did the one last year with the jersey. Yeah, I saw that like on Imgur or like on Reddit or whatever. Right. So that's all kind of fun. And it's because same thing. It's like the same community and all that stuff, and
well,
everyone gets it.
I mean, being a fan of stuff, you have your own connection. That's a one-way connection. The opportunities, because you guys go to conventions or these events or whatever, just getting even a little bit, whether it's just folks who are good at engaging with you when you're in front of them, but they may not remember you after that. There's plenty of celebrities that are good at that, making you feel like you're there with them. But that little bit of validation only cements your connection. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, you're not going to get that with the Walking Dead guys. They're going to remember who you are the next year. Yeah. So it's like I say, it's a different dynamic. It's different than anything else because I like a lot. And we'll get into this over the course of weeks and weeks and weeks. I like a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. There's very few things I don't like, which makes all my habits even worse. Yeah. But
the office looks fabulous, though.
Thank you. I'm working on it. I was threatened to clean my office, or packages were going to start getting opened. So, but the to go back to just the Kev stuff and the View Ask It compliment stuff. It's a different, not like class or caliber. I'm not saying it's like we're better than everyone, but it's a different breed of fan. It's more like it really is a community because there's not a lot of us.
Yeah.
I went and saw Clerks 2 in the theater. There was a dozen people. I went and saw Yoga Hosers. There was like 6 people in the theater. Yeah. I think 2 of them were you, and I just didn't know it.
I actually that's probably true.
It was like true. You guys. Yeah. I didn't know you guys were there because I knew you guys at the time. And like me and my
you were
brother.
the creepy guy in the back of the room in Tusk.
No,
weren't you?
No. I didn't get to see that one in the theater.
Too.
But so like I said, we're just like I said. There's not a lot of us, so when we, I guess when we don't get released out into the wilderness a lot, so when it is time for us to get out, we go hard, and that's kind of good about it. So all the FaceTime with everybody, whether it was Kevin, which was awesome as always, the Comic Men guys, like I said, even people from the Facebook groups and stuff, it was all great. Yep. So so August was a busy month, so we got a little long-winded on that one. We'll try to tighten them up as we go, but August was a big month for us for a couple different for many reasons. So hope you enjoyed. You can find these if you haven't found this one already. On SoundCloud, FANMEN Podcast, iTunes, FANMEN Podcast. If you want to follow us on Twitter, at FMen37. If you want to follow me on Twitter, at Deegernaut.
At Chris_Davis37.
At Vacaboca, VACABOCA. Nobody told me I'd have to say that out loud.
Well, it makes it easier. So, once we get this going, if people want to hear us talk about stuff, ask questions, recommend top threes, any of that stuff, we can do that. So, Seth, thank you for joining us for this, the first of hopefully many in a series. And we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.